Well, it's another edition of heterochroMEDIA, and we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
I'm already dead. Literally, you're talking me through like some sort of spirit device at this point.
This is a spear device?
Yeah, this is one of those freaking spirit box things that the ghost hunters use.
Oh no.
The phantasmic word generator, whatever the fuck it's called, yeah.
It's been a night.
It has indeed.
And you get to hear the
recap. She looks
recap.
more tired than I do.
No. That's all you have? No.
I don't know what to feel right now.
Well, that's what happens when you watch Tusk.
Oh yeah, we did watch that.
No, I like that movie.
It's okay.
We'll get to it in due time. So it's a casual Friday here. If you're listening to this, congratulations. We got through Gatsby and what do we compare Gatsby with? I know there was American Psycho. That's right. Yeah, that took 3 months because college is kicking my ass. And the editor can't get in weekly. But if you're listening to this, that means, hey, we're back to weekly uploads, or as much as weekly as we get. And after this, you'll be getting a wonderful comparison of the two most famous versions of All Quiet on the Western Front. But until then, you're going to listen to our drunken ramblings. So, we started this evening with, well, I walked in and you're watching some gaming video.
Yeah, we're watching RubixRaptor and his friends finish up the Barotrauma campaign. Yeah, RubixRaptor, he's a video game YouTuber. I've been watching him for about a year now. He's pretty funny. I like his Arma videos. But, yeah, he's been playing Barotrauma and a few of his more recent ones, which is a submarine eldritch horror game set on Europa, which is one of Jupiter's moons.
Which I need to play someday. I love me some... seems like underwater sci-fi eldritch.
Oh, yeah, it's horrifying.
It is horrifying.
It's a very brutal game. It makes you feel like you're small and insignificant and everything in the ocean wants to kill you. Especially since it's dark, because, you know, you're under the European ice, there's no sun. So, most of the time, you're navigating strictly by sonar, which is not ideal.
No.
But yeah, no, and you know, you just have your...
Constant flooding, I noticed, in this game.
Oh yeah, no, basically any of the monsters you fight in the game can breach your hull. And when the ship floods, if you're not wearing a diving suit that's rated to the correct pressure, you just depressurize and explode after a while.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the final boss is truly an eldritch horror.
It is.
It starts spouting a lot of philosophical gibberish. I guess it's meant to blow your mind up.
Hmm?
I don't want to be in that position.
And, you know, in classic modern Cthulhu fashion, they just shove a bunch of nukes into it and hope that works.
And it does, apparently. Apparently. The crew's killed, I think, but it seems to take Cthulhu out.
I'll level with you, though. Going out and nuking Cthulhu, that's pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie.
That is true. That is true. Now, advancing through, we then watched the very first episode of Trigun, which...
Great, I loved it.
I know Connor had not seen, Jess, you have not seen Trigun, correct?
No, sir.
No, you have not seen Trigun. So, the first episode of Trigun is considered the greatest first episode of any anime, as it sets the world up pretty damn well, introduces Vash's Stampede and all of his quirks. And
yeah, he's a quirky little bastard, isn't he?
Yeah, the whole, so they're on this, so spoiler alert, they're not on Earth. If you can't figure that out.
I got that vibe.
They're on a planet called Gunsmith. And I'll give you a hint. Earth does exist in this universe. It wasn't good night.
It wasn't good night?
It wasn't good night. And the survivors of humanity crash-landed on Gunsmoke.
Interesting. I'm going to go turn off that AC in the other room.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's full of ice. I can hear it.
He can hear it. We have an AC full of ice. We're about to be flooded by ice. This might be our last transmission.
I don't think ice would be raiding us personally. Maybe that's just me.
That may just be so. Yeah, so basically the whole... If you've not watched Trigun, I don't know what you're doing. It's one of the most famous anime, at least in the Western world, it's one of the most famous anime.
Yep.
And it's about Vash's Stampede, who is this fantastic gunslinger who is a wanted man on the planet of Gunsmoke, with the bounty of was it $60 billion double dollars on
Yeah,
its head?
$60 billion double dollars.
Yes, double dollars is the currency on Planet Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
Don't ask why. It just is. It just is, folks. It just is.
Somehow, I've never seen a scene from this anime. I've heard of it. So this was completely new to me. I quite enjoyed it. It was very fun.
There is fantastic contraptions in the art of firearms.
There's some great facial expressions, too.
Yes. Particularly, I know you liked the gun that had the revolving magazines.
The revolving, like, lever action, double barrel gun. That was pretty cool. I don't think that would actually work, but
No, highly impractical, but looks very cool.
But, through alien space bats, anything's possible.
Yes, and there's also a dude that is like, what, 5 stories?
Yeah, dude's built like a freaking brick house, and nobody seems to be concerned or questioning that. He's just there.
He is just there. Well, basically, there's this interesting thing where these 2 groups of bounty hunters are hunting down Vash for the bounty, and they think Vash is just like almighty, like murderer. And well,
no, not really. Well, also apparently, even though his antics destroy a lot of shit, basically nobody ever dies.
No, nobody ever dies. He tries his darnest to make sure nobody gets killed.
Yeah.
More on that later.
More on that later.
Yeah, as we delve farther, hopefully in the future, into Trigun. And we also got probably one of my favorite plot points of any show.
The insurance agency?
Yes, I love the fact there's an insurance agency just trying to track down Vash, because Vash is considered a natural disaster on Gunsmoke. Because it causes so much destruction. So, of course, the insurance companies are nearby to try to, make claims and make profit, make bank. So they're always wherever Vash is near. So they send out 2 agents, Meryl and Millie, to try to make contact with Vash, to try to figure out what the whole situation is. Why are all these people filing for disaster insurance, essentially? So, yeah, it's a unique plot point that I personally, me and my historical interests in disasters, I think, appreciates.
Yeah, no. I mean, overall, for first episode, very solid. Definitely interested in watching more. The next episode apparently has Hitler in it, so that's going to be interesting.
It doesn't have Hitler in it. You just think it's Hitler.
He's got the mustache and the hair.
Well, yeah. Well, not everybody's. Not everybody.
Not everybody?
Not everybody. I'm not saying he's a good guy, but
yeah,
I'm not saying the character that Connor thinks is Hitler. Obviously, Hitler's not a good guy.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Jess, you're absolutely sloshed right now. What the hell, dude?
No, I'm not.
You're going to fall asleep. You don't sit up.
Well, we get to Tusk. Don't worry. She's going to go all in.
No, she's out. She's been KO'd.
She's been KO'd. So, we decided to keep...
more to drink.
What?
I have more to drink.
No, you don't. You're done.
You're done. Good night. So, moving on, we decided to keep up the all the gun violence.
Yes.
And we moved into America, how anime depicts gun violence in America.
Yes, the first episode of the Gunsmith Cats
yes.
OVA.
Very quick recap. This was originally a manga made in the 1980s, and then it got a free episode OVA back in 1995. And basically it's about 2 gunsmiths, and they run a little shop in Chicago, or at least what Japan thinks.
Capital of the world.
Yeah, what Japan thinks Chicago is.
It's not very far off.
No, but a lot more guns in law-abiding citizens' hands. And essentially, the 2 gunsmiths, Rowley and May, they get roped in to helping the ATF out.
The ATF fucking blackmails them into helping them.
Yeah, because they're not paying certain taxes and things like that.
Yeah, they're. So apparently, Rowley owns multiple fully automatic weapons without the proper paperwork, which is a felony. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Or if you're gonna do it, don't let anybody know you're doing it. But yeah, so apparently the ATF knows of this, and instead of just arresting her, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna help us fight crime, and in exchange, we won't arrest you."
Typical ATF business.
Yeah, ATF being shady as always.
Yeah, I love the fact that the Japanese creators got from early 90s America that, Americans love guns and they hate the ATF.
And you know what? Based.
Yeah,
very
based.
accurate.
Based. So yeah, the first episode basically revolves around Raleigh trying to help begrudgingly helping the ATF out with this, trying to break into this warehouse and bust this like crime syndicate or something with all the guns.
And it's solid gunplay too. Like they're very good action scenes. They're all choreographed. Like
this is done by people who know their guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Gunsmith Scat's only 3 episodes. The whole thing's about an hour and a half to watch. It's definitely worth seeing. We'll see the other 2 episodes another time. And then after we went to the basement and played around with...
Yeah, chemicals.
Yeah, check out a Humble Collector's channel to watch what we did in the basement.
For the most disappointing live stream of all time, where we sprayed blood reagent on a bunch of militaria, and then literally half the live stream was just in the dark with us being like, it's kind of glowing, isn't it? Even though none of that was showing up on camera at all.
They just look like complete dorks.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing, though. You gotta grow and expand as a channel, right? We tried something new. It was a fucking disaster. but we tried. That's the important thing.
Trying is what matters.
Exactly. And, you know... We proved that metal does glow when you spray the stuff on it, so it's probably got blood on it, maybe.
Possibly.
But then again,
theoretically,
the handle of the bayonet did too, but not the blade.
It was perfectly on the handle.
Yeah, so I think there was some sort of weird reaction going on with the brass, but
more on that later.
And more on that later. Go check it out if you want to just hear us.
There should be a link up in the corner right now if you want to go see the live stream. Watching us all ramble when we had way more energy. So, and then you can see a Humble Collector dressed as Walter White.
Mr. White.
So, we come back up and we want to watch a couple things on HBO Max. Problem.
It wasn't working.
Yeah. HBO Max was being an asshole.
It was indeed having some skill issues as far as like actually, working.
So in the intermediate time, I was introduced to the world of Berd.
Yes, you've never seen Berd before.
No, and this is Berd. I don't travel to these parts of the interworld.
Berd is a class act, let me tell you. So Berd's whole channel is, he makes funny little skits with his little animated bird characters, and they're great. They're funny. They are random.
They are random.
And most of his videos aren't a minute long, so when they come out, you just watch them. That's,
Is this his full-time job, just making these?
Hey, he gets millions of views. He's rolling in it.
And apparently he got contracted by G Fuel.
Yes, he has a 22-episode series that's literally just G Fuel sponsorships.
It's just running, just impromptu storyline. Which
got
quite the lore. The fuel! The king
boy.
of the fuel! And he leads the Berd and through all these perilous missions, like trying to go through the pit of...
The snake ladder of fuel!
Yeah, the hill.
Of fuel!
And there was like a pit of like poo or something.
Yeah, the poo-poo pit of
and there's a whole subplot. There's a whole subplot involving the friend with the baby, and there's 2 episodes where the baby just speaks in a normal bird voice because it's not
they're
canonical.
Not canon.
They're not canonical.
they're not canonical.
They're not canonical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure what we're saying sounds completely bad shit, but it exists.
Bird's a good time. I like Berd.
It exists. I will have to check out more. I need some mindless humor in my life.
Berd is the mindless humor. I've been subscribing to him for years. Great contact.
Slowly lowering the coffin down, What song were they playing?
They were playing the frickin' Italian pizzeria song. The one that goes da 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 da.
I mean, slowly lowering the casket into the grave.
Yeah, I caught that casket was moving about 1 millimeter an hour. It was.
Yeah. So we finally got the HBO Max to work, and Jess's choice for the night was a thing called Tusk.
Yeah. I like body horror as like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
And Tusk is very much body horror.
Yes.
There is indeed body horror in that movie, yeah.
Yes.
After you get to a certain point, you gotta like wade through a lot of like dialogue first.
So, what is the plot of Tusk?
Okay, so this podcaster goes to Canada to interview some guy, but when he gets there, the guy's like killed himself, so he can't interview him anymore.
Yeah, the Kill Bill guy.
Yeah, so he goes to a bar, and then while he's in the bathroom, he sees the sign that says, "I have a lot of stories to tell. Come hang out." And that's what he does. He goes to hang out with the guy with a lot of stories. But then the guy with a lot of stories ends up being like a freak who wants to turn him into a walrus.
You heard that right, folks. A fucking walrus.
Yeah, so I suppose that bears some further investigation. So, the antagonist of this movie is this old man who apparently back in the 50s was on an expeditionary adventure to go find giant great white sharks off the coast of Siberia that eat whales. And instead of finding the sharks, the boat sinks because it hits an iceberg. And very much in the vein of Titanic, our antagonist is the only survivor, and he washes up on this rock in the middle of the ocean, and his only companion for 6 months is a walrus. Now, you're probably thinking about the thing I was thinking, is that there's going to be some weird sexual undertones in this movie. There were not,
Surprisingly not.
No, thank God. But basically, yeah, he cuts off this man's legs and sews him into a walrus suit. And that, I don't think I need to really say more than that.
No, that's the movie. Oh, and there's like 20 minutes worth of Johnny Depp sitting at this fast food restaurant and doing the most cringiest Quebec accent you can imagine. French-Canadian accent you can imagine. And I mean, it went on and on.
And on. We were literally talking through the entire scene.
We don't know what really happened, because, I mean, nothing was really relevant to the plot.
Yeah. Because basically the movie ends with man who gets turned into a walrus killing man who turned him into a walrus, and then living out the rest of his life at a wildlife conservation center in Canada.
Where he gets to be watched by everyone that comes in.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's absolute Frankenstein looking at Meffer.
Out of everything, it is mostly sad.
Well, you said this was, like, put out as, like, a comedy?
Yeah, apparently, according to my one friend, he's also a movie buff, it was a comedy. But I didn't really see it as a comedy.
What were you really think funny about this comedy?
No.
No, it was sad. It was very sad.
It's definitely quirky, but the problem, in my opinion, it's not quirky enough.
This is a movie equivalent of I'm not like the other girls, but I'm not like the other girls because I have like skeletons in my basement. Like
yeah, it's I thought The Wall was supposed to be the most weirdest thing we talked about on this podcast.
Bro, we were getting to levels of depravity you can't even comprehend.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
This is set in a tone, which is horrifying me, and it's. Oh, and we also have to randomly mention, like, one of the only good jokes in the whole movie, because they try to throw a lot of jokes at you.
None of them land.
None of them land, except for the fact when Johnny Depp opens up this case full of guns and hands them to Haley Joel Osment, who, by the way, is in this film, adult Haley Joel Osment, and I don't know the name of the actress of the girlfriend of the guy who's turned into the walrus, but anyways, Johnny Depp hands them guns, and they just look at him dumbfounded, and he's like, well, you're Americans.
Yeah. But they're from California, so they don't count.
Yeah. And Johnny Depp actually got this pretty cool
chrome shotgun.
Which, if he had used it, would have solved a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But no, the girlfriend didn't let him use it.
No, she didn't want Walrus Man to die.
He just wanted him to suffer.
This is literally the equivalent of I have no mouth and I must scream.
Honestly, yes. But like, I don't know what Kevin Smith was doing with this.
Drugs.
Acid.
Yeah, but well, I mean, the cast of the Evil Dead were getting high on set, and they made a horror comedy.
Well, some people
which was more coherent.
Some people get high better than others. I don't know what to tell you.
This is a horror, not comedy.
This is a horror comedy.
Well, if it's just a straight up horror film, it's perplexing. If it's a horror comedy,
it's weird because it feels like
successful.
There's almost like supposed to be some social commentary, I think, but it doesn't land.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's the whole thing where, like, the guy who turned him into a walrus was at D-Day, and he met
Ernest Hemingway
and gave him some wine. Like you do.
I thought you said it was Budweiser.
No, it was wine.
Okay.
No, he was hiding the bottle of wine in the bag of potatoes in the ship's galley.
What you normally do.
Well, we all keep the spare bottle of wine, you know.
Oh yeah, they hollowed out the bread to get wine into Free River Stadium for Steeler games.
But see, you just gotta pull the frickin' Always Sunny. You just put the wine in your Diet Coke can.
Period.
Yeah.
That's how you be an alcoholic in real life.
New episode coming to heterochroMEDIA. We will test that in practice. no, we won't. Maybe we will. I don't know.
Drink Diet Coke, or wine out of a Diet Coke can? Sure, we can try it.
That's real life, bitch.
As long as one of us is not the driver.
Bro, we ain't driving after that podcast.
No.
I ain't driving after this podcast.
No, you're not. None of us are.
Yeah, you're more effed up than the rest of us.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I'm usually the one that gets more effed up than you. Even though I weigh like twice as much as you do.
And I be sitting here right now, like, blah, 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 you know?
Yeah, I do.
She's crossed into talking another language.
She's speaking the language of the baby from G Fuel commercials.
She is, honestly. So,
that was... Why are you pulling stuffing out of my couch with your toes? Please don't do that.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
That was a sentence I never want to speak again.
This is why you subscribe to the channel. At this time,
look, we're quirky.
13 people.
we are not like the other girls.
No, we are not.
I've never been like another girl in my life.
So, any final thoughts on Tusk? I mean, I personally was... I was not a fan of it.
All in all,
I'm kind of hit or miss on Tusk.
All in all, it's a tragedy.
There were like parts of the movie that I thought were really interesting and I enjoyed. There were other parts where I'm like, why the fuck are we doing?
I feel bad for him.
I won't say. I'll say this: nobody does a bad performance. Like everybody gives it their all, and they're definitely enjoying themselves. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like people are like, well, except the one sequence in the diner. Haley Joel Osment looked legit miserable in front of Johnny Depp.
I mean, I would have been too. That was a 20-minute scene.
I have a theory that Johnny Depp took this role because he was trying to get away from Amber Heard, and the reason he's in the last third of the movie is because he's just trying to keep away from Amber Heard. And Kevin Smith didn't write him for a large role, but he's like, hey, Johnny Depp sacrificed. He's willing to just come work, so I ain't gonna say no. So that's my theory on that. So yeah, and Jess, any thoughts here?
I don't know. I think it's like a film about exploitation in the end.
Exploitation, I can see that.
I can see it.
Yeah, like exploitation of animals and like fucking. Like,
I'm sure it's also not just a movie about a crazy person.
It could be.
By a crazy person?
I'm all against films being like simple. But like I feel like it's exploitation that like kind of like makes this film sad.
We haven't even talked about the fact that the dude, he's so freaking rich, he could have just bought a walrus.
He could have.
But instead, he made a man into a walrus to the point where if this man becomes unstuck from the walrus, he would die.
So that's not something to be proud of, though.
It's not nothing to be proud of. I know.
But you're promoting this as like an achievement.
It's kind of badass, but like.
I think you're more. Awed by the bodysuit that they made for the film, and not by the story.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm a big body horror fan, so I'm like.
Oh, the practical effects are pretty good.
Right? Like, the walrus suit is disturbing.
And if this was trying to do a proper horror take, they should have slowly shown this guy breaking this guy down into being the walrus. Instead, we have first half of the movie, he's, being told, okay, I'm going to turn into a walrus. In the second half of the movie, he wakes up, he's a walrus. There's no gradual, there's no the fly, change.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I feel like it should have been.
I think that's why it's like the most okay. What are you trying to do?
I think we could have taken less of his girlfriend and his best friend scenes.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Into more of this is me being turned into a walrus scene.
That whole process should have been extended a significant degree.
I would have been much more interested if it was like that.
I think I'm now ready to watch the rebuild films now. I'm ready. I'm ready for the pain this summer. So
and then after rebuild, you get to watch the thingy.
The thingy?
Yes.
What's the thingy?
The living placenta.
Oh, you mean the movie The Thingy?
Yes.
Why not watch Rebuild before The Thingy?
Exactly.
So that's Tusk. It was a thing that happened. I don't know if it was a good
liked the
thing.
movie. I think it was.
I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
I think it was more sad than anything else because at the end he's like in the zoo.
Well, no, he somehow got stuck over the course of like 3 days into being a walrus.
I mean, wouldn't you?
We don't know if it was
in 3 days.
Imagine
was it
being
3 days?
a
And they
walrus.
explicitly stated it was 3 days.
No, but here's the thing: he went missing. He called them the second day, got turned into a walrus the third day, and at some unspecified amount of time later, he got rescued. But it couldn't have been more than a few weeks at the max.
Exactly, but you're still a walrus for that amount of times. He's feeding you fish. He's doing all this like walrus shit.
I guess here's the thing: it's all about like where your mental space is at, right?
I mean, yeah.
He was definitely not a very mentally strong character going into that.
But I think like the end where he's just like a walrus and he has to live his life like that is like sad.
They could have taken him out of the suit if they wanted to. They shouldn't want to.
No, they couldn't.
They could have taken him to. I'm pretty positive they could have taken him to a medical professional. And they could have found something.
As far as I know, he was like fucking like conjoined into that fucking suit, and it was just him.
Well, it's one of those things too where it's like this. So the suit's not really alive though. It's just a bunch of skin.
Yeah.
It's not even walrus skin. I think it's just other human skin.
No, it literally is human skin.
But like, it's gonna rot.
Yeah, but
Johnny,
don't
hey, his girlfriend should have let Johnny Depp pull that trigger.
But it's just she's like, oh, he's in a zoo.
He's miserable.
Let me throw him a fish.
You're not helping.
It's like, buddy, he's gonna.
Yeah, he's gonna die in a matter of weeks.
Can we talk about the really shitty fight at the end of the movie?
Oh, well,
Which one?
What fight?
The one where
the Tusk fight.
Yeah, the Tusk fight.
Oh, God.
Oh, like fucking like Tusk man fighting like fucking Tusk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're literally just bumping into each other like a bunch of sumo wrestlers. Like what the hell?
See, homie has been like making a Tusk suit for so long.
He had got two of them. One for Mr. Tusk and one for himself.
Able to fucking fight another Tusk. But no, he can't. He
went
dies.
for all this effort to convert this guy into a walrus just so the walrus guy can kill him.
Yep.
Exactly. What the fuck is that?
Karma. I accepting that you're fucked up and
I don't know.
Trying a convoluted way to be put out of your misery.
After this whole movie, I see Justin Long and I'm like, wow, you suffered a lot.
Yeah.
But then Justin Long, like every other movie, is like, chill. I'm like, what the fuck?
What did Kevin Smith do to you? Did Kevin Smith start ranting?
Smith
this is how I'm going to turn He-Man into, for the 21st century. It's going to be great. We're going to cut half his, what's her fucker name's hair off, and it'll be great. She's going to got the woke feminist. I'm ranting.
See, Kevin Smith be like, I'm going to make everything new. I'm just going to do this.
He shouldn't.
He shouldn't. Yes, exactly. But he doesn't know that. He thinks he's like a fucking like psychic.
Well, I think he's been drinking the Kool-Aid. So that's Tusk. We have one more thing to talk about, and this one's interesting as it started as an idea. And
yeah, it did.
So we were watching a video. We should backtrack. We were watching a video while we were trying to get HBO Max to work. We were watching a video.
Oh my goodness.
From Cody.
From Alternate History Hub, but actually in his other channel, which I just learned today exists, and I am a mega fan of Alternate History Hub for many years. I did not know yet another channel where he talked about just regular movies.
You know, he's done like most of the Transformers series. He's done like a whole bunch of other movies.
So he did a video on World War Z and how it effectively killed the zombie genre as we know it.
Yeah, here's the thing. I've actually seen World War Z 6-7 times, I think. I agree with Cody's assessment. The first part of the movie is not awful. It's not great, but like it's definitely not bad. And then the second half of the movie shows up.
I've heard. I've never seen it, but I've heard.
kid named Disappointment. That's what it will be.
Oh no.
Well, because it's like the first parts of the movie, you got like waves of zombies. They're like climbing walls and running over emplacements and shit. You know, and then it's just like, yeah.
It's a thing, and well, it kind of happens. We'll talk about briefly. The one that just broke me when Cody was talking about how the zombies briefly bring peace to the Holy Land.
To the
Palestine and Israel.
Yeah, because in the movie, Israel like somehow knows that the zombies are going to be a thing before they are, and so they build a wall. But they also they let not only Israeli citizens but Palestinians in, which, for those of you who aren't up on your modern politics, it's kind of a big deal. But anyway, they're finally getting along, because it's like, oh, like we have a common enemy now. And then, I'm blanking.
They start singing.
Yeah, they start singing to celebrate.
And the singing annoys the zombies so much.
That they climb like a multi-story wall to get into the city and start murdering people.
So, I don't know what to take from that. What were the filmmakers saying?
Well, that's what Cody was like, what did they mean by this? I guess the point is you can't have peace in the Middle East or else the zombies win.
I guess. So, my exposure to World War Z is nilch, except for South Park. Which leads us to World War Zimmerman.
It is indeed one of the South Park episodes of all time.
Yes, so I just kind of assumed, well, I was watching the Cody video, and I'm like, oh, I just assumed this happened because South Park parodied it. I am sorry. But I'm not really sorry, because the movie I've heard of World War Z, it pales in comparison to the book. So, am I really sorry?
No.
No, I'm not. So, World War Zimmerman is a classic South Park episode, where there's too many white police officers being involved with murders of
weird,
black
right?
civilians that, I can't tell you which one this was. Murders, deaths, I don't know. Either way, however I word that, somebody's canceling me. So,
yeah.
So I don't remember the true crux of like what started the drama over Mr. Zimmerman. I think, let's just look it up. Let's get it all down.
Zimmerman shot a black guy, right?
Well, yes. Yeah, Trayvon Martin.
Oh, yeah, Trayvon.
All the way back in 2012, so that's why I don't remember it.
Because, yeah.
I was in the school system then.
So why did it blow up till 2020 then?
Oh, no, this came out in 2013. Yeah, this is ancient. So anyway, this was even before the Ferguson, Missouri riots.
Why is Jessica in my couch?
You'll become.
You have a blanket.
One
I
with
know,
the couch.
Connor, I'm sorry. I'm like really feeling it.
We can tell. We can tell.
You can't.
So you can't see this, but Peeves for Real has become one with the couch.
Just absorbed into it.
Have you seen the meme where somebody jumps on a bed and then they're under the bed mattress? That's what just happened with cushions.
I'm like
trash bag there.
I'm using.
What is happening?
What?
Watch this, Con.
What?
Disappointment?
I was trying to have a professional conversation about, racial tensions in America.
I'm sorry.
and you have a Minecraft blanket. It's okay. We're talking about South Park.
I mean, it's
but it glows in the dark though. That's pretty
majestic,
cool.
really.
Well, according to this household, if something glows in the dark, it means there's blood on it.
Maybe.
Possibly.
We didn't confirm it.
We could neither confirm nor deny.
So anyways, this involves the death of a 17-year-old American citizen. A police officer was found not guilty of the crime, and Cartman starts having horrifying nightmares. What'll happen when the police officer is found not guilty?
Now, if you've never seen South Park, Cartman's a racist.
That's put it mildly.
He do be kind of a bastard.
He is Hitler.
He's a racist POS.
He is Hitler if he understood memes.
Pretty much.
Memler.
Yeah, he is a memler. He is memler, like Kung Fuhrer.
You don't like anyone different from him.
No, and I think he just likes to mess with people. He takes pleasure in people's suffering. So he has these nightmares where Token, who yes, he's named Token because he's the one.
Well, no. In recent seasons, he's Tolkien.
He's Tolkien now.
Yeah.
No, that was the whole thing. Did you not hear about this?
No.
No, because in one of the newest seasons, like last season or this, like upcoming season, he changed his name to Tolkien, so it's not like racist.
They also went back and changed all the subtitles for all the episodes to change his name from Token to Tolkien.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're gaslighting which character?
Stan.
Because Stan thought his name was Token, but it's actually Tolkien.
So now poor Stan.
I see what they're doing now.
So they completely gaslit him.
Poor Stan thinks he's racist, but he's not actually racist. But he's like, his name's not Token.
They're just all messing with him.
Including the creators of the show.
Oh, wow.
Matt and Trey be like...
It's 4D chess.
Really do be...
It's South Park, so they go all out on this kind of shit.
In World War Zimmerman, Cartman's having nightmares that... How do I word this? He has nightmares that black Americans are going to rise up and have these violent riots, and they're going to come after him and his beautiful family that all speak like him.
Yeah, because he's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, because he imagines that he's Brad Pitt in his nightmares because he's imagining that he is in World War Z, which apparently Cartman just thinks World War Z must be the greatest movie ever.
Yeah,
most likely.
It's okay.
So, he keeps getting scared of Token what? God, I'm being gaslit by Trey Matt.
His name's
live on air.
Tolkien now, so just like call him Tolkien.
Token.
So you're not racist.
Token. I'm calling him Token.
That's what he's been for like 20 years.
It's Bernstein, not Bearstein, or whatever that whole Mandela effect thing is. So he keeps freaking out whenever Token's near, and Token's just like, what the hell is going on?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, are you okay? Like you're having real problems.
Just like, you're my bro. Don't worry, I don't like white people.
So and then Cartman starts reenacting the events of World War Z, or at least a version of World War Z, where he hijacks a car, Tesla. He hijacks a Tesla with a woman in it. He and the woman get on a plane. They see security guards who happen to have dark skin coming toward them, and they claim that the virus is spreading, so they lock the door.
Yep.
And they're on this plane, and there is a person in the bathroom who happens to have dark skin. God, I am going to hell for this.
You're not the one that created it, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Gary,
I'm just wording what happens and how Cartman reacts to it. And then the plane crashes, and this is the first of 3 plane crashes in the whole episode. Yeah. And then they crash near South Park. And they go to try to find Token, because if they kill Token, they'll kill Patient Zero. Exactly. And then they go to the gun shop, where they're given a wonderful lecture on the standard ground rules.
Yep.
Which is very informative. So, yeah, and then eventually Cartman shoots Token.
He does. He literally fucking
for the
shoots
first
him.
time in the series. Which is not
honest to God, not in a dream or anything, he shoots him. In the arm, but he shoots him.
I guess.
Now, I completely skipped over the part where he decides to go to Florida, goes to Zimmerman's house, and does blackface. So Zimmerman's blackface senses will tingle, and he shoots him in the arm in Minecraft. And I'm just gotta I might be very far gone, but I will still take my caution with YouTube, in Minecraft no less. Yeah. So Zimmerman's automatically found guilty, given the electric chair, which we don't use anymore, and
we don't use it anymore?
Yeah, it's all lethal injection now.
I want to
Except for the couple states that brought firing squads back.
Shoots Token, because Token walks in on his little red circle, so it's standard ground rule applies. Yeah. This very, very tiny red circle, I should mind you, and actually pulls Token's body in the line. Even though Token's not actually dead, he's just shot in the arm. But he's clearly dead in that sequence. And that is World War Zimmerman, and that's my understanding of World War Z. It's a very bad understanding.
Pretty much.
The movie's pretty boring, honestly. Well, after the first half, when they get to the freaking Who research center.
It was World War Z and I Am Legend. There were only 2 PG-13 movies I thought.
Yeah, and the zombie film shouldn't be PG-13.
No, they fucking suck.
Yeah, it doesn't end well. And we all know about I Am Legend's infamous change of the ending.
Yepper.
Which completely ruins the story. It completely ruins the movie.
Connor, you know, right?
What?
The ending of I Am Legend.
Well, I know that there was an alternate version where he doesn't die.
Yes, and it's way better.
Yeah.
Because it's more true to the source material.
Because every other I Am Legend's like, oh, this is what people want.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait, maybe we're the baddies.
It's another one of those movies that gets quoted around our house fairly often because we use the Frank diatribe quite
Hey, yo,
often.
Frank!
Frank!
What are you doing out
What the
here?
hell are you doing out here, Frank?
Frank!
Frank, I'm gonna shoot you, Frank!
Yeah, it's one of the lines we use every day of our lives.
I don't know why that became one of our lives.
Yeah, I'm kind of quite curious.
But it's funny as hell.
It's like that in the, Cheese Royale is like one of our lines.
Cheese? You mean Royale cheese?
No, from like, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it's Royale with cheese.
No, it's Cheese Royale. Connor, what is it?
Bro, it's 1 a.m. I've had too much rum to figure out what the frick we're looking for.
I can't see.
You can't... Well, that's a different problem.
You have alcohol poisoning. That's a very different problem.
Alright, let me chill out, bitch.
Hold on.
Isn't it like... You know what they call a quarter pounder at Royale?
I got it on my phone. Because when you buy a Tarantino soundtrack, you don't get a full soundtrack. You get half the songs in the movie and a bunch of dialogue sequences.
Yepper. That's why it's on my album.
Travolta's explaining the hash bars right now. I could just skip it forward.
A cheese Royale.
Well, he's now talking about buying beer.
Royale with cheese.
A Royale with cheese.
Yep, Royale cheese. Yep. Well, we're wrapping up, folks. Hey, thank you for listening to this Casual Friday, another installment of the heterochroMEDIA podcast. Typically, we matchmake the oddest double features. These Casual Fridays are more just where we drink a lot and watch a lot
Like today.
and question what we did. Yep. So if you like these Casual Friday videos, or you want to hear more of our regular comparison videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want to go, yep.
Woo!
And if you want to go the extra mile, you can support all of our individual projects. Humble Collector on YouTube, myself, Redoubt Productions on YouTube, and Peeves for Real on TikTok. Find us, links in the description below. All right, you're going to hear me. When you hear this end, it's because my head actually hit the button to end the recording. So we'll see you later.